Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to get started on and finish fin number 1. That's going to be pages 1 through 4 in the Coffee Lover album. And this is going to be the last video in this playlist because I started building this album from the back forward. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button. It really helps this channel out. And let's go over the measurements for this page. Actually, let's go over what we're going to do on page number 1 first. We're going to have a 5-inch wide belly band. It's going to be a little bit different from what I've done in the past. The measurements on the belly band are 10.5 inches. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch and 5.5 inches. And it's 8.5 inches long. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch and 8 inches. And we're going to have to do a little bit of cutting on this to get it attached to the base page. But it's going to fold around like this and create a pocket on the bottom. And in that pocket, we're going to insert a folio. And this folio is 5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. We're going to score the 11-inch side at 5.5 inches. The mats for this folio are 4 3/4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to magnetize this so that when it's sitting in the belly band, it's attached by a magnet, and the magnet is going to be under the very top level of a waterfall. The waterfall pieces are 5 inches squared, and we're going to score one of those 5-inch sides at 1/2 inch. So the final footprint is going to be 4.5 inches by 5 inches. And the mats for these, one of these is going to be matted at 4 3/4 by 4 1/4, and the rest of them are going to be 5 inches by 1/2 inch, roughly. I think that's right. I'll be sure and put the final cut list in the description box down below. We're also going to have a photo mat that slides underneath the belly band. This is 110-pound cardstock. By the way, the belly band and the waterfall are 65 pound. The folio is 110 pound. So this is 110-pound cardstock. It's 6.5 inches by 6 inches, and the mat is going to be 6 1/4 by 5 3/4. The base page for page number 1 is 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches, and we're going to score one of those 7.5 inch sides at 1/2 inch. The mat for the base page is 6 3/4 by 7 1/4, which is this piece right here. And this is the mat for the folio. It's 5 3/4 by 6 1/4. One of the mats for the folio anyway. And actually, I think this is the mat for, yeah, this is the photo mat. Sorry, not the folio mat. That's the photo mat. And this is the mat for the top level of the waterfall. It's 5 by 4.5 inches. And this is the outer mat for the folio at 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. So let's get started scoring everything. And then I think we're going to start with getting the cuts made on the belly band that we need, because we're going to need to cut out like a bottom section of about 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches in order to get it to attach down to the base page. Then we're going to add the waterfall pieces and add the folio and magnetize all that before we do the inserts. Well, I ended up having to cut 1/8 of an inch off the folio's width. So the final folio dimensions were, let's see, what were they? 4 7/8 by 11, and then scored at the 5.5 mark. And the mat is 4 5/8 by 5 1/4. For pages 2 and 3, we're just going to do some real simple photo mats. This is coffee stain paper, and it's cut to 6 3/4 by 7 1/4. We've got 2 sheets of that, and we've got 4 pieces of solid cardstock cut to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to lay these out kind of like this, except that I'm not going to glue one of these corners down. That way I can insert a photograph underneath. And then we've got 3x4 photo mats that are going to go on top of that. And we're going to go ahead and score pages 3 and 4, the base for that, 7.5 by 7.5, and then we're going to score it at the 1/2 inch mark on one of those sides. We are on to the final page in this album. This is page number 4. Kind of ironic that it's the last page because, I mean, there's like 16 pages in this album, but this is the last one that we're filming. And what we're going to do here, we're going to have an envelope. I debated taking the envelope out because it's going to be facing page 5, which also has an envelope on it, but this envelope is going to be oriented differently. So I think it's going to be fine. So this is the envelope, and it is 5.5 inches. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and it's actually going to be oriented this way. And we're going to score the 6.5 inch side at 1 3/4 and 4 3/4. So it's going to be like 3 inches wide by 4 inches tall, something like that. And this is going to be part of the closure piece that holds it down. This is a 3x4 frame that I made during the embellishment video. So if you want to see how this is put together, check out the embellishment video. The frame is going to slide along this band right here. And this is 65-pound cardstock, and so is this. This is 1.5 inches wide by 8 inches tall. We're going to score the 8-inch side at 1/2 inch and 7.5 inches, and it's actually going to go this way. And then this piece is just going to slide along this direction. There's a strap that's going to hold that in place, and it is 1 inch wide by 2.5 inches tall. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch and then probably like 2 1/8 inch. That way we've got like just about 1/8 of an inch of play in these two, so that it'll slide along a little bit easier. If we do it right at 1.5 inches, then it's going to be really difficult to get this to slide the way we want it to. We've got a 110-pound photo mat. It is 6 inches wide by 5 inches tall. The mat for this is 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. And the mats for the envelope are, this is for the back, is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we've got the sides. These are 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. This will be for the bottom flap. It's 1/4 inch by 3 3/4, I think. Yep. And this is for the top. It's 3 3/4 by, looks like 3/4. And the mat for the base is 6 3/4 by 7 1/4. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to score everything that needs to be scored, then assemble the envelope. And I think what I'm going to do to attach the envelope to the base mat, I'm going to probably trim a piece of 65-pound cardstock and just cut it or score it in half, probably about 1/4 of an inch. So we'll probably cut a 1/2 inch thick strip and then score it at the 1/4 inch mark and use that to attach the envelope to the base, because the envelope is going to flip up and this piece will slide left and right, and when it slid all the way over to the left, it should hold it down.